Have you ever had that feeling, that you're right on the edge of a totally new way of building software? Well, today, we're going to go way beyond just writing code. We're going to explore what it really means to become the conductor of your very own AI development team. I feel like I can build anything. Just let that sink in for a second. This is what developers like Cole Medin are saying right now, working with these top-tier AI coding assistants. It's this feeling of just limitless potential. Suddenly, the biggest barrier isn't how fast you can type, it's how big you can dream. This is what's happening in software development, right now.
So, how do we get to that feeling? Well, it all starts with a huge mental shift. We've got to stop looking at AI as just a fancy autocomplete and start treating it like a real, honest-to-goodness collaborator, a new partner on our team. And at the center of this whole shift, you've got assistants like Claude Code. What makes them so different really comes down to three things. First, they get the big picture. They understand your entire project, your whole repository, not just the one file you have open. Second, they can follow complicated, multi-step directions. And third, and this is the big one, they really do act like a partner, not just a tool that sits there waiting for you.
And let's be super clear about something. This is not, I repeat, not a story about replacing developers. It's about giving them superpowers. It's about augmenting what we can do so we can build bigger, build faster, and finally tackle those problems that used to feel way too complex to even think about.
All right, so if this AI is our new partner, what's our first job as a good team lead? Well, we've got to set some expectations, right? We need to teach it the rules of engagement, lay down the law about how our code base works, and just, how we like to get things done around here.
And the main way we do this is with a file called Claude.md. Think of it literally like an employee handbook for your AI. It's just a simple markdown file where you lay out all your team's best practices and coding styles. And that pro tip there, that's golden. You can reference other docs, which keeps your rules clean and makes them super easy to share across different projects.
Now, a huge part of managing any new team member is deciding how much freedom to give them. I mean, you wouldn't hand a new hire the keys to the entire production server on day one, and it's the exact same idea here.
And this is absolutely crucial. You're trying to find that sweet spot between safety and speed. So for safe, read-only commands, yeah, you can let it run on its own to move things along. But, and this is a big but, for anything even remotely dangerous, like deleting files with RM, you have to make it ask for your approval. Every single time. You just never give it a blank check to do whatever it wants.
Okay, so we've got the basic rules in place. Now we get to level up from being a manager to being more of an architect. This is where we start designing these powerful, reusable workflows that our AI can just execute on command. And this is where the real productivity gains start to kick in. I mean, think about it. What are the most complicated, repetitive tasks you do every day? Now imagine encoding that whole process into a single command that your AI just runs perfectly every single time. It's like creating automated standard operating procedures for your team. This whole practice actually has a name. It's called context engineering, and it's becoming the core skill for developers. It's not about just writing one amazing prompt. It's about being an architect. It's about setting the entire stage, giving it the examples, the docs, the rules, so the AI has everything it needs to succeed.
A really powerful way to do this is with the PRP framework. It's basically a simple 3-step project plan. First, you define your goal in plain English. Second, you run a command that generates a super detailed plan with all the context. And third, you just hand that plan to the AI and say, go build it. It's simple, it's structured, and it is incredibly effective. Okay, now we're going to kick it up another notch. Why settle for just one AI partner when you can have a whole team of specialists? This is where you really step into that conductor role, orchestrating a bunch of AIs all working together.
The structure here is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. You have one main agent that acts like the manager. It knows the big picture. And then it delegates specific tasks like, say, writing tests or updating docs to these specialized sub-agents. And get this, these specialists can even run in parallel to speed the whole thing up. And hiring one of these specialists is surprisingly easy. You pretty much just create a markdown file. But you gotta pay close attention to that description. That's the secret sauce. A really well-written description is what tells the manager agent exactly when to delegate a task. It's what makes the whole system smart.
So we've set the rules, we've built our workflows, we've assembled our team. The final step in all this is to automate the conductor itself, to create a system that can run these really complex processes from start to finish with you barely having to lift a finger. And the secret to this next level automation is using something called hooks.
Honestly, the best way to think of them is like if this, then that for your code. So, for example, you can automatically trigger a backup script before a dangerous tool gets used, or you could run a notification script after your validator agent finishes its job. It just adds this amazing layer of predictable, deterministic control over your AI workflows. So let's see what this all looks like when we put it all together. Let's take a classic developer problem, a pain point we all know and hate, that endless, repetitive chore of fixing small bugs that get reported on GitHub.
And here is the automated solution. A single command kicks off the whole thing. The AI goes and reads the bug report right from GitHub. It analyzes the code and actually implements the fix. Then it writes tests, pushes a new branch, and opens a pull request, a PR that's all ready for a human to just review and approve. It's incredible.
So cool. It sounds so simple, but that reaction just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? When you see a complete end-to-end workflow, from a bug report in GitHub to a finished PR, all handled by an AI team, it really does feel like you're watching a little piece of the future. Which brings us to our final and most important question. When these systems can do all this, the developer's job, it changes. It evolves. You're less of a coder and more of a systems designer, a teacher for AIs, a conductor of this whole automated orchestra. So the real question is, are you ready to pick up the baton?